Hey there everyone, this is Jeff Perkins with JD Cutlery. Excited to be doing a video on 6 knives that I picked up from Brian Brown at the Blade Show Texas show. Super excited finally to have these things worked on. These are the Brian Brown Corvus. This is the production version that is manufactured by Riot. So, of course, all the quality that you would expect from a Riot produced knife with a fantastic design completed by Brian Brown. So these things are just a joy to play with. They are a thumb stud, flick open type design, very snappy, incredibly sharp, and just ergonomically feel really nice in the hand. Definitely a nice medium-sized knife, but without a doubt built to be used and built to be abused. So let me go ahead and hit the specs on these real quick. Blade length on this one is 3.25 inches. Overall length is 7.7 inches. The blade is M390 titanium, and you've got two different options on the scales. You got a full titanium, or you've got a titanium frame that has an inlay of fat carbon fiber. And then, of course, your lock bar side is going to be titanium with a steel lock bar insert, and of course your ceramic bearings in the pivot, and his very unique design for a pivot. You've got this side that doesn't show any screw, and then a titanium Torx from the other side that has a nice pivot collar on it. Back spacers on these are all done in titanium, as well as the pocket clip. Some of the versions have the black PVD coating on the screws, pocket clip, pivot, and thumb studs. The others do have titanium throughout that was bead blasted, and in some cases I polished them out. Overall weight on this one is 4.2 ounces. And really just a very fun knife to play with. This is the first time that I've worked on any of the Brian Brown design knives. Unfortunately, I caught him at the end of Texas Blade Show and really didn't get a whole lot of time to talk and really kind of get to know him very well at the time. Do look forward to hopefully seeing him at Blade Show Texas this next year. And kind of going with it from there. But needless to say, super excited to have these to work on. They really did turn out very, very nicely. I've got a couple different finishes for a very unique look on each one. So let's go ahead and take a minute and we'll kind of look at these one by one real quick. And you can kind of take a look at what's been done. Okay, so this first one is a sky blue with a nice, wow, man, awful lot of glare on this right now. Let's go ahead and adjust the light a little bit and see if we can make that any better. Okay, so that made it somewhat better. Kind of came in, you've got a really nice sky blue with a nice bronze storm to it. Same treatment on both sides. You do have the Brian Brown logo in the cutout for the lock bar. And of course this is the pivot screw with that pivot collar, your thumb stud, and this one is all done up with the black PVD coating. And as you guys can see, these things just fly out as you go to flick them. So really turned out very sharp looking. As you would expect, Riot produced knife, so it centers in nicely. Lockup is good on it. So just a really fun knife. And that is the Sky Blue Full Titanium. Let's go ahead and go for the other end of the spectrum. This is more of a deep blue with a very heavy bronze Superstorm treatment. Turned out really nice. This is a satin finish, so you're not getting quite as much glare off this bad boy. Do have a little bit of oil here around the pivot, but really turned out pretty sharp looking. Again, this is the PVD coated hardware on this one, and that is his pivot collar. This piece actually is threaded, so your pivot screws in from the other side into that flat collar on this side. Definitely giving a very unique design to that pivot. And again, just flies open nicely. Lockup's right where you'd expect and centered in beautifully. Now as we get into the fat carbon, this is the Arctic Blue. And this one, Arctic Blue, is so hard to kind of work with as far as finding a cool color. This is a bronze purple. Polished out, done bronze purple, all the hardware, the screws and everything. And then this side, I went ahead and gave you the Superstorm treatment to really liven that up. Just a lot of life in this one. Really turned out pretty sharp. Very happy with the way this one turned out. I'm going to fingerprint it up because you know how it goes. These cool colors, sometimes they fingerprint out. So it fingerprints and it kind of goes a little bit more bronze than the purple. So you've got a good idea of what this is going to look like as you carry it in hand. And I did remove the thumb stud, buff it out, and give you a nice color match there. I'm going to go ahead and adjust this just a little bit, see what we can do here. Sorry about that. We'll try and knock the glare down just a little bit here, just so you get a better feel for what that storm treatment looks like. The rest of these are all polished, so I do apologize about the high glare, but when you do that high polish, you get a lot of glare sometimes. So here is another of the Arctic Blue. In this one we went with a nice green background, kind of a teal blue green to match that Arctic Blue, and then I did storm treat it. This one you've got a purple bronze backspacer and pocket clip, kind of all fingerprinted up there, and then that same Superstorm treatment on the lock bar side. Then I bronzed the hardware, the screws on this, to really give it a good match. So it really turned out pretty sharp looking. I might go back and bronze those thumb studs. That'll probably look a lot better if I do that. So I will go ahead and go back and do that. But again, lockup is really nice. Centered in very nicely. And yes, now that I see this on camera, really needs the bronze on the thumb stud as well. So I will go back and switch that up. It is already posted on the website, but I will get that switched out. So this one is that really cool black and white fat carbon. Went with a nice electric blue on the frame and the pivot. And then I went with an electric blue kind of sky storm treatment on the other side. And on this one we had the black PVD again. So did the pocket or the pivot out in that blue. Really just gave it a really nice storm treatment. And that blue just looks so good with the black and white. Really fun knife to flick open. And that the tip of that blade is just comes to such a sweet point, so aggressive, and a really, really sharp knife. Definitely fun to play with. Lock up. Centering's right on the money. Just such a fun knife. And the other, black and white, I went with a blue bronze storm treatment around the frame, bronze the pivot, and then storm to the other side. Just trying to give these guys as much attitude as I can, make them as much a one-off finish as you're going to find. Taking that factory production knife and giving you that nice custom anodized look, so it stands out a little bit compared to what your buddies have got in their pockets. So these Brian Brown knives really turned out very nicely. Super happy with the overall result. Like the design a lot. I'm hoping to pick up some more. This was kind of a collaboration with Slice Knives out of Louisiana. And of course their high-end custom stuff they always have up for sale. Some just amazing knives. So it was good to see them at the show and get the opportunity to pick these up to get some work done on them. So these are all posted on the website. Definitely go in, take a look, see what we've got. The first things that are going to pop up, of course, are the most recently added. This one and this one were just added today. The other ones I added just a little bit ago. So the easiest way to look at all the Brian Brown stuff is to go ahead and go in, hit shop, then select categories. You'll get that drop down for categories and just jump right into Brian Brown knives and you will find all these jewels posted for sale there. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one.